Day 594 of doing a LeetCode problem every day until I get a job. All right, y'all, we're back again another day, another LeetCode problem where we're doing daily LeetCode problems. And today we have question number 3652, best time to buy and sell stock using strategy. The difficulty level is medium, but don't worry because you already know we're going to keep the solution as simple and easy to understand as possible. But before we get started, y'all, don't forget to like, hype, subscribe, comment, and share. And if you need any new Apple AirPods, go on and check out that link in the description so you can get you some. Now let's see what the question says. You are given two integer arrays, prices and strategy, where prices of I is the price of a given stock on the ith day. Strategy of I represents a trading action on the ith day where -1 indicates buying 1 unit of stock, 0 indicates holding the stock, 1 indicates selling 1 unit of the stock. You are also given an even integer k and may perform at most one modification to strategy. A modification consists of selecting k consecutive elements in strategy, setting the first k divided by 2 elements to 0, meaning hold, and setting the last k divided by 2 elements to 1, meaning sell. The profit is defined as the sum of strategy of I times prices of I across all days. Return the maximum profit you can achieve. Note there are no constraints on budget or stock ownership, so all buy and sell operations are feasible regardless of past actions. All right, y'all, so that may seem a little bit confusing at first, so let's go ahead and take a look at these examples just to make sure that we are doing this problem correctly. Now, before we get started, I'm going to just copy and paste this over here to get our handy dandy visual representation going. Boom, boom. Let me see, and then we could put k equals 2. We could just put k equals 2 at the top. Boom. So we don't forget. Okay, boom. So now let's take a look at these examples. In example 1, we have our input prices equals an array of integers 4, 2, 8. Strategy equals an array of integers -1, 0, 1, and k equals 2. The output is 10. So let's take a look at this explanation so we can see how they got 10 as our output from this input, right? So our original strategy is this right here, -1, 0, 1, right? Boom, that's the original strategy right here. Now to calculate the profit from that, we just do we go by index. Each index in prices corresponds to that index in strategy, right? So first we do 4 times -1. That's going to give us -4. Boom. Then we're going to say plus. Then we're going to do index 1. So 2 times 0. Index 1 of prices times index 1 of strategy, which is 2 times 0. That's going to give us 0. Then we'll say plus. Then we're going to do 8 times 1, which is index 2 times index 2, and that's going to give us 8. When we add that all together, we get 4. Boom. So that's what this is right here. That's how we got this profit calculation right here, and we got the profit of 4. Now we are going to perform a modification, right? The first modification we are going to do, we're going to perform 0 and 1, meaning index is 0 and 1. So after the modification, so how does the modification work? It says we're selecting k consecutive elements in the array. So in this case, we're going to modify 0 and 1. Our k consecutive elements, k equals 2. So our 2 consecutive elements we're going to modify first are these elements right here, at index 0 and index 1, right? Boom. So that's this -1 and -0. So after we modify, we're looking at this subarray right here. So that means set the first k divided by 2 elements to 0. So k is 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we're just going to set the first element to 0. Boom. So let's come right here for, my bad, y'all. Boom. This is original. This is modification 1. Boom. So once again, we're looking right here. So this is, we'll just say mod equals, this is going to be the new array after we modify it, right? So, or actually we could just, yeah. So, boom. So we're going to take once again, this is the subarray that we are taking, that we are choosing, or this is the k consecutive elements and strategy we're choosing. This is index 0 and index 1 right here. So once again, set the first k divided by 2 elements to 0, right? So 2 divided by 2 is 1. So we're just going to set this this element right here. Oh, sorry, we could do it up here. We're going to set this first, since we're looking at this array, this is the subarray. We're going to set this first element to 0. Boom. Then it says set the last k divided by 2 elements to 1, right? So remember, this is the subarray, and k divided by 2 is 1, so we're going to set the last one element, or the last element, to 1. Boom. So we'll set this to 1. Boom. And after we do that, we're left with this. Boom. Now we're going to do the same thing, right? So each corresponds to the same index. So we're going to do 4 times 0. That's going to give us, sorry, y'all, that's going to give us 0. Plus, then we're going to do 2 times 1. That's going to give us 2. Then we'll do plus. Then we're going to do 8 times 1. That's going to give us 8. And all together, that's going to equal 10. Boom. Sorry, y'all. Boom. So that's how we got 10 right here. That's where this 10 comes from after the modifications. Now we still aren't done. We need to check all possibilities. So we already did these two because k equals 2, right? So we already did these two, and they have to be consecutive. So the only other one that's missing is these two right here. The only other subarray that's missing that we haven't checked yet is this subarray right here, 0 and 1, the last 0 and 1. So that's what we're going to do now, right? So let's copy and paste this. Boom, come right here. Boom. Boom. We could set this to modification 2. Sorry, y'all. 2. Boom. 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 All right. So we're going to modify index 1 and index 2. That's these indexes right here. That's k equals 2. That's 2 consecutive elements, right? We're doing our modification. Select exactly k consecutive elements. These are the k consecutive elements we are doing, right? Oh, hold on. Let me change this back to the original too, so for when we go through it. So hold on. There we go. Boom. So once again, we're changing these two. We're looking at these two now. So now it says, sorry, y'all. We got the 2. So now it says set the first k divided by 2 elements to 0. So that's already 0. Then it says set the last k divided by elements to 1. That's already 1. Boom. So it's just the same. So then we do the same thing again. 4 times -1, -4, plus 2 times 0, 0, plus 8 times 1, 8. That's going to give us 4. That's how they got this 4 right here. Boom. So in the end, the maximum profit is 10, which is achieved by modifying subarrays 0 and 1, which is this one right here. Boom. So that's why we return 10, because that is the maximum possible profit. Excuse me, y'all. Excuse me. That's the maximum possible profit, and that's what we want to return. It says return the maximum possible profit you can achieve. Boom. And in this case, it's 10. So just in case that didn't make sense to y'all, let's take a look at example 2, right? So let me go ahead and reset this. K equals 2. Boom. This time prices equals 5, 4, and 3. So let's just fix this over here. Sorry. Get the prices going. Boom, right here. Boom. And boom. And then let me just, oh, sorry, y'all. Then let me just do this right here. Make sure, or sorry, nah, this is the new strategy. So let me make sure I put this new strategy right here. Boom. 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 Okay, y'all. So now let's go through it. So it says, in example 2, we have an input prices equals an array of integers 5, 4, 3. Strategy equals an array of integers 1, 1, 0, and k equals 2. The output is 9. So let's see how they got 9. So the original, hold on, let me get rid of this right here and this right here. Boom. So the original strategy is 1, 1, 0, right? So once again, We do 5 times 1, that's going to be 5, plus 4 times 1, that's going to be 4, plus 3 times 0, that's going to be 0, and that is going to equal 9. Boom. So that's how they got this 9 right here. So first modification, we're going to modify index 0 and index 1, k equals 2. So that means we're doing the same thing. That's these two indexes right here. We're going to modify them. So it says once again, change the first k divided by 2 is 1. So change the first element to 0. So this right here is we're going to change this to a 0. And then it says k divided set the last k divided by 2 or the last element to 1. So we are going to change this one. It's already a 1. Boom, if I'm not mistaken. So it should, oh, sorry, hold on, y'all, hold on. Oh, that's example 2. Yeah, so boom, that's already a 1. So boom. Now we are going to come right here, do it again. 5 times 0 is going to be 0, plus 4 times 1 is going to be 4, plus 3 times 0 is going to be 0, and then in the end, that's going to be 4. Boom. So that's where this 4 comes from. Boom. Then we need to do the modification again for this element, these two elements, because we once again, we already checked these elements, and k equals 2. So the only other subarray or the only other contiguous array that we haven't checked is this one right here. So that's what we're going to do right here with modify index 1 and index 2. So once again, let's see what we need to do. We already selected that we're going to do k consecutive elements are going to be these two. Boom. So then the first k divided by 2 element, we're going to set that to 0. So we'll set the first one to 0. And then it says set the last k divided by 2 elements to 1. So we'll set this last one to 1. And in the end, we should end up with 1, 0, 1. Sorry, y'all, we get rid of this. So let's make sure that's right. Yep, 1, 0, 1. That's what it should be. Now let's go through it. So it'd be 4 times 1. That's going to be 4. Plus 2 times 0. That's going to be 2. Plus 8 times 1. That's going to be 8. And in total, when we... Oh, sorry, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I forgot to change this. My bad. Let's bring this back. Let's delete that. Make sure we did it right up there. I forgot to change this prices array. So I was calculating the wrong price. So let me fix that. Boom. So now let's do it. 5 times 1, that's going to be 5. Boom. Plus 4 times 0, that's going to be 0. Plus 3 times 1, that's going to be 3. We add them all together, we get 8, and that's where this 8 comes from. Now, out of all these, 8, 4, and 9, 8, 4, and 9, right here, 9 is the maximum profit that we were able to achieve. So that's why our output is 9, just like that, y'all. So I hope that makes sense to y'all. And now that we understand the question, let's get into the fun part, the actual solution. Solution is not that difficult at all. So let's get into it. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we want to get the, sorry, y'all, let me clean this up a little bit. So first thing we want to do is we want to get the number of days or price points. So we are going to say let n equal prices dot count. Boom. Now, we need half of the window size of k. So this is used to determine which portion of the window contributes positively. So come right here, we'll say let half equal k divided by 2. Boom. Then we're going to compute the profit of the original strategy without any modification. So we'll declare a variable called original, set that equal to 0, and we're going to say for I and 0. Sorry, y'all. For I and 0, dot, dot, less than n. We're going to open up the brackets, and each day's contribution is strategy of I times prices of I. So we're just going to say original equals strategy, or excuse me, not equals, original plus equals strategy, square bracket I, times prices, square bracket I. Boom. Then we're going to track the maximum additional gain achievable by modifying a window of size k. So we can come underneath this, declare a variable called best, set that equal to 0. Boom. Now we're going to slide a window of length k across the array. So we're going to say for I in 0 dot dot dot, open up the parentheses, n minus k. Come outside of that, we're going to open up the brackets. Boom. And then the gain is, so we're going to declare a variable called gain, set that equal to 0. And gain represents the number, gain represents the net profit improvement if we replace the strategy in the current window I, comma, I plus k. Now we need to add the profits for the second half of the window, and these positions are assumed to be set to 1 in the new strategy, so, or a positive 1, I should say. So we'll come underneath this, and we are going to say for j and open up the parentheses, I plus half, come outside those parentheses, say dot dot less than, open up some more parentheses and say, I plus k, come outside of that. We're going to open up the brackets and we'll say gain plus equals prices square bracket j. Boom. Now we need to subtract the profit contributed by the original strategy over the entire window since it will be replaced. So we'll come underneath this for loop, start another for loop. We're going to say for a and I dot dot less than, open up the parentheses, I plus k, come outside of that, open up the brackets, and we're going to say gain plus equals prices square bracket j. Boom. Now we're going to subtract the profit. Oh, sorry y'all. That is not right. It should be gain minus equals strategy square bracket a times prices square bracket a. Boom. Make sure that's right. Boom. Looks right. Should be right. Now we need to keep track of the best improvement across all windows. So we'll come underneath this and we'll say best equals max, open up the parentheses, best, comma, gain. Boom. But we're not done yet because we still need to return our final result. So we need to come right here and we could just say return original plus best. That should be all she wrote, y'all. Let's go ahead and give it a run. Okay, equal white space, y'all. Equal white space. Let's give it a run again. Let's see, it's accepted. So let's go ahead and submit it. Make sure it's still accepted after we submit it. Let's see. And look at that, y'all. 3,881 milliseconds, beats dash percent of users. Not too bad. Make sure you get one more look at the code before we go. This is the top part. This is the bottom part. And yeah, y'all, with that being said, I hope y'all learned something today, and I hope to see y'all here tomorrow for another day, another LeetCode problem. See y'all then.